Welcome to What's in the DVD Box podcast. The only podcast asking what is in fact in the DVD box. Introducing your hosts, Jonathan Lind and David Winkler. Now, welcome to the pod. Welcome back to What's in the DVD Box podcast. I'm Jonathan Lind. I got David Winkler here with me. David, what do we have in the DVD box this week?
We have Road to Perdition. I'm surprised this was in Young Dave's DVD box a little bit, but we're going to get into it.
A little heavy.
Yeah.
Did 18-year-old Dave watch this movie?
18-year-old Dave did watch this movie, and 18-year-old Dave was surprised. Now, why did this end up in the box? That's a great question. I've been thinking about that all week. Why the heck did I buy this one? Probably because it had Tom Hanks, and I thought, boy, that Saving Private Ryan movie was good. Let me just grab this one. I
love that's a connection because he basically has the same scene in this movie as he does in Saving Private Ryan at the end.
Yeah, he's
bleeding out, and he just pulls a pistol up and saves the day, or, so he thinks.
Wow. Man, I was not making that connection exactly, but Tom Hanks is pretty good at laying there, dying, shooting guns.
Yep. 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Okay, so that makes sense. Also, the cover is pretty sweet. I mean, you got gangster in the rain with the Thompson typewriter at his side. You think, oh, yeah, okay. For me, I always got this movie confused with Green Mile. So this is the first time I'd seen the movie.
Yep.
But and also I have not seen Green Mile. But to me, the cover of Road to Perdition is like green enough to when someone says, like, shows me this one, I think, okay, yeah, Green Mile. Or then I see the title Green Mile, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the gangster movie with Tom Hanks, right? Nope, definitely not. So for this one, when you said, hey, we're doing Road to Perdition, I thought, okay, now which one actually is that one again? And I had to go look it up. Okay, this is the gangster movie.
Gangster film. So what did you think watching this, being somewhat confused on what you were going to be walking into?
What's the premise?
What's your thoughts after sitting down and watching this from start to finish?
This one, I looked up a little bit beforehand, and I saw Sam Mendes was the director, and that name rang a bell. Obviously, as someone who's not super well versed in cinema, that's kind of like I'm hiding under a rock. But Sam Mendes rang a few bells, looked it up. Okay, he's done a lot of movies that are very well done. Some of them I like even. So I thought, okay, we're probably in for a good movie. It'll be interesting because this is, I think, a little earlier on in his career. Let's get into it. Let's see what we think. This was a movie I was going into. Before that little research, I was going into it thinking okay, well, this is just sort of a early 2000s take on a 20s or 30s gangster film. We'll see how it goes. I'm kind of expecting something bog standard. Yep. One of the things that I noticed throughout the movie was there's just a lot of really unique camera work and a lot of unique shots. Those are the things I think that really drew me in further. I didn't really get the sense that this was hey, we're going for period accurate accents, New York, Chicago, perfectly sequenced who is who and who's who's protecting who's getting paid off by who, and how hard and fast are the rules. But this is one of those movies that I love that it was in your box because you get a lot of these actors that from a bunch of movies, but they're early enough in their careers that this movie has 6 of them.
Yeah. And that kind of messes with you a little bit as you're watching it because you're looking at Daniel Craig, James Bond.
Yep.
Pre-Bond. Yep. And he looks like a sniveling little something, but not James Bond. And you're like, what am I watching right now exactly?
Right.
You're watching Paul Newman at the end of his career, but Tom Hanks, who is old, dead, crotchety guy now. Stanley Tucci with hair. What the heck is that?
Exactly.
That was surprising. He looks great with hair, but when you lose it, There's nothing you can do. So
It
feel
comes
for the
for
guy.
us all.
It comes for us all. Came for me 15 years ago at this point.
And yeah, I mean, with kids now, it just speeds up.
It's going away.
It goes quick.
I don't know what happened to Stanley, but he looked great.
Also had Jude Law in there.
It had Jude Law. Boy, did it have Jude Law.
And again, I find myself in movies, I'm torn between like, wow, I hate this character, and wow, it's awesome that they wrote a character so well that it's like you just like oozes villainy.
Yeah. To that point, it's kind of going between them robbing banks and going and doing like a montage spliced with pictures of Jude Law. There was one picture in particular where it's just someone flipping a coin in their hands, but he's got long fingernails and
they're like pointed.
They're like very pointed, and it's just gross.
Yeah.
And you're like, all you got to do is show us a picture of someone flipping a coin in their hand. No context. You can't see a face. All you see is that, and you see the long fingernails, and you're like, oh, that's the creepy dude. Along with the fact that they wrote him to have like a, I don't know it's not like a Friar Tuck hair, but just like missing hair right down the middle, just so thin, right in the middle of the hair. They did such a good job of establishing this guy is weird right off the bat. And it's the classic trope of, oh, we got a guy who'll do any job type of thing. But then they just add this like horror aspect to him that like,
oh yeah,
it's like it's not a horror movie, but he is the creepiest person in there, but it still works within the universe.
It really does. And it was the moment in the diner where I realized, oh, this isn't just I don't like this character. It's like, this is intentional, because you saw in how Jude Law held his posture and his gaze, he just looks like a sniveling rat character. And then you see him like straighten up when he's like getting into business. It's like, oh, this guy, yeah, it's that horror thing of like, oh no, our guy Tom Hanks might be outclassed by this evil.
Yeah.
As evil as Mike Sullivan is in this movie. So those details really were like, okay, this film it punches, I think, above its weight class. And I think certainly Sam Mendes has quite a bit to do with that. But on the whole, I mean, there's a lot to really, really like about this movie.
Well, and it does make me think of like watching it, had all these big name actors, great director. Why isn't it something we talk more about in the lexicon of like, oh, you got to watch this. You got to watch The Godfather. It's not quite at a Godfather type level, but man, it's good. And it has some heavy hitters for actors. Yep. Paul Newman in this was good. Like someone who at his age in this movie, which he was pretty old at this point, had to be in his like late 80s, I'd say, just acts so well with his face. He's not quick and snappy Paul Newman, Butch Cassidy type of deal, but he was, man, just the facial expressions of like a father so disappointed in his son. You felt everything for him with very little words, which I think is a sign of a good actor, where you're just like, he doesn't have to say much and you know exactly what's happening. You buy it. You're there. You're feeling everything that he's feeling, just bringing you in.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, he does a really phenomenal job. And it's not just one or two. I mean, it's like almost every scene where he's sort of bringing that same depth, which is really great, because it's, I mean, so many of films and, probably more TV these days, they just exposition dump at you and they tell you what they're thinking and what they're feeling and what's going on, and leave nothing to you to think about and ponder, or just, take in and observe. But the face of a disappointed father doesn't really need a whole lot else. Yeah.
So that's actually a good point, because so starting off the movie, it's setting a tone right away with a kid going in and buying a pipe to start smoking, like a 12-year-old kid who's just like, Yeah, I bought a pipe and we're going to be smoking until I get home, and we're going to throw it away before Mom gets there. And
I think he had it already.
or he had the pipe, but he was buying tobacco, wasn't he?
This is this is my idiot brain. I was like, oh, he's just getting like a power bar off the counter there. Yeah,
But
tobacco.
it
That
is
probably
tobacco.
is.
That's how the tobacco used to look in the back in the day. It used to be like packaged like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's selling newspapers, brings it in, gets his payment from the drugstore, pockets a pouch of tobacco. You're right. Yeah, he's got his honeycomb pipe and he's smoking on the way home. And
As we all did as kids. Actually, my first thought was like, this is how we won World War II.
It's true.
Kids all smoke.
The kids were smoking before the war.
Yeah. But it sets you this tone of like, all right, here's this kid who wants to be older than he kind of desires more, and all of it unsaid, sits down and then it sets up. All he does is you see him walking slowly through a hallway, approaching his dad in his room. You see his dad set a gun down. You're like, all right, his dad's doing something that needs a gun. Don't know what, and you see him afraid of his dad. Then you start bringing in religious elements as they're going to church and everything, and all that. The kid is very stoic, very stone cold the entire time. So is the dad. You see this. All right, he's wants to be like his dad, respects his dad, reading Lone Ranger books. He has this high-minded ideal of his dad. All of that without any exposition. I mean, there's 5 lines of dialogue in the first 10 minutes, maybe not 10 minutes, but for a large portion of the beginning of the film, not much dialogue at all. But you're taking in so much information, and that's to your point. Like that would have been there would be a narrator, and there was a little bit of narration at the beginning, but it just sets it up. But there would be narrator, there would be a dining conversation where, well, what was your job today, Dad? Well, I was blah 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 blah. It moves the story along, I guess. You can kind of buy it, but this was, great camera work, setting up scenes well, and you buy everything, and you kind of had to slow down as you're watching it, which you don't see much.
I like it. You're absolutely right, and this is one of those concepts, like show don't tell.
Yeah.
Right. You're showing what the reality is, and I think they do it really well in the whole film. They don't explain why, later on if they kill this guy, what's going to happen. They just show it, and they show it in such a way where that ain't good. That ain't good. They don't tip you off at all until much later when they outright show the evidence that this had other purposes even.
Yeah.
That the son was doing. So there's this whole film, they do a great job of showing, don't telling, and not telling you explicitly what's going on. The missing cultural impact, maybe it's just because it's a well done film. It was profitable. Yeah. I think the numbers were 180 million gross revenue off of 80 million budget, ballpark numbers. But that's a great studio film for the early 2000s. I wonder if there is a little bit of hey, you can have a good movie that just ends up being a little forgettable. And it's not because they did anything wrong. It just maybe wasn't the highest thing they could have aimed for. That is some of those few films that are truly transcendent, that get into that category of man, I've got to watch this and rewatch it and rewatch it and rewatch it because it's just that, the story of it is just that good. I think the filmmaking of this, if you were trying to learn how to make good films, you should go study this film. You should go watch and see the things they do because, obviously Sam Mendes' hand in this is very good, but it's early enough on that it's not just throwing money at the problem.
No.
To solve all of it.
And the movie makes some intentional choices in kind of setting that up, but I think it does a great job. So a lot of the killing that you see, which is squibs or CG now, or however they're accomplishing that, a kinetic action, happens off screen.
Yep.
I love that choice. As the film's progressing, the kid tries to join his dad and watches a killing happen. And you see a killing happen in frame, in screen, that is big, right? So it's like you're seeing that, and it's surprising, it's shocking. You see it happen, and then you see Tom Hanks's character react to that killing, shoot people off screen, right? Mm-hmm. So you don't see it. You see the kid doesn't really see it. He just sees a body fall, looking at him dead, and then they notice the kid is watching all of it. The violence that happens on screen is very intentional and shocking, but it's not because you don't expect it to happen. You don't expect that character to get shot at the time, and then progresses further. They don't waste violence in this movie for violence sake, and I definitely say that because when Tom Hanks' wife and other kid get killed, it's not shown at all. They don't show the bodies. They don't show it happen. They show the aftermath of it. Man, I thought it was such a good choice to make that. You don't need it, but it hits just as hard. You see the reaction.
Yeah, you see the wide shot of the house. You hear the 2 gunshots and you see the muzzle flash, lighting up the window. And that's all you need.
That's all you need.
And honestly, if they would have shown it, you probably would have been queasy and I don't know if I want to watch this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I want to actually see this.
Yeah, I mean, you made the comment about not something you want to watch. This movie is heavy. You don't want to rewatch it. It was great to rewatch it. 15 years later for me, but it hits real heavy. Just the ending, all the parts in between. I mean, there's some redeeming moments that you see, but it does get set up that there's not going to be a happy ending to this movie. It's called Road to Perdition.
Yep.
It's going to a place that's not going to be great, no matter how much they want to sell it at the end. Do you buy Tom Hanks as badass mafia mob hitman guy? How did that sell for you?
No. He's on the wrong side of the law. That's
your take? That's your take?
Tom Hanks in this movie is on the wrong side of the law. It does not work for me. Not that he does a bad job. I think he does a great job. I just see Tom Hanks and it's like, wow, that's a wholesome father gunning down a bunch of dudes in Main Street. That's a wholesome father teaching his son to hey son, here's a 38 special snub nose. There's 6 shots. I'll be inside. If I don't come back in 30 minutes, no, that's not a great father figure. Do you know of anyone else who they were trying to cast in this role? Because I wondered if maybe they didn't have their first or second choice, but then got a Tom Hanks and thought, wow, this guy's phenomenal. Too many times, I don't know. It just didn't seem to me like that's who the character should have been.
It looks like Tom Hanks was sent a copy of the graphic novel by Steven Spielberg while filming Castaway, initially too busy to make sense of the story. I actually think that the more I watched, the more I was sold on it. And because there's a scene when he just shoots a dude pretty quick, right off the bat, that I was kind of he special forces reacted to I could tell this guy's shady, shoots the guy, shoots his bodyguard right away. That I was kind of all right, I'm not buying Tom Hanks. And the first time you see him kill, it's kind of off screen. You don't really see him do it, and it's kind of whatever. But then as it started going, it's I think what they did a good job of is building up the mythology around that guy, that he's this kind of everyone's afraid of him. So it's he's had to do some stuff. He looks a little bit schlubby dead now, but everyone kind of did a little bit, unless you're Daniel Craig in this. You're that guy's coked out of his mind, so that's why he's skinny. Everyone else is a little bit, you know. They've been...
I mean, they're hitting the drinks every night. They're Irish Catholics. So.
Yeah, I mean, you have a half a bottle of whiskey every single night because that's how you sleep. So no one's especially healthy, and then the Italians in there just eat a lot of pasta. So, we understand what everyone looks like here. So in that way, I could kind of buy it. He started clicking a little bit, especially after that first Jude Law scene in the diner.
Yeah.
Which I love that scene too.
That was a very good scene.
Everything around Jude Law, I thought was was handled really well because so he's sitting there and you're wondering how he's going to handle it. It's like, man, he found them quick in the film. So it's like, wait, we're not even a third of the way through the film or not even halfway through and Jude Law's already found him. It's like, all right, how is he going to get out of this one? But I love how they set it up where he sits down and there's something about him killing and him taking pictures. So what does he do? He pulls out this
this little handheld
camera and you're like, oh, so you're not sure if he's going to do something now. Is he just playing with Tom Hanks? But he pulls out the camera and you're like, oh, I know what that means because you set it up the scene before. So it's like something's going down. He keeps looking at the cop, and Tom Hanks sniffs him out, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't know what exactly tipped it off, but it felt very believable in the scene. And that's like, I'm all about.
Yeah.
I know that this movie's not done yet. I know that he's not going to die right now. How believable are you going to write this up so that I can buy that they escape right now? That's all what's going on in my brain. So I'm just sitting there waiting for a believable scene. And I had even forgot like what had happened in this movie. So I was like, I don't remember what's going to happen. You know, the kid being asleep in the car, he could have gone and checked it, but he didn't. It's not that like he just sees Tom Hanks and gets like excited about going in there and getting them, and then he overplayed his hand, which I think is what bought it for me. And the cop it's just like a chaotic situation. So
his arrogant, what is his McGuire, his Jude Law's character. Anyways, that character, he definitely is like very confident, and he overplays his hand. Harlan McGuire. So he's confident, overplays his hand. I thought what was going to happen is he's going to pull up and his son is going to be out in the car and I thought his son was going to sniff something out of like, that's a shady character, Dad, let's book it. And because the cop, in my head, it was just like, oh, easy getaway, then there's going to be a chase or something. I don't know. But then they showed kids asleep, and I'm thinking the same thing. Like, oh no, like, is this where he gets got? What's going on? I do think that was one of those, put that on the list of really top-notch scenes of, antagonist, protagonist.
Tension.
They can't do anything yet, because you have a cop right there.
Yeah.
Which maybe there's a little bit of a plot hole because Tom Hanks sniffs him out, gets out of the diner, slashes the tire. Jude Law runs out, fires a shot. The cop comes out and is like, hey, what are you doing? And then just gets shot twice right there.
Probably should have his gun out.
I don't know what the police training was back then, but surely this incident had something to do with it changing. So I don't really think that's a plot hole because, Harlan is not going to want to make more of a mess than he has to, because then that's just more work, more cleanup, and more heat, really. And
I something else that's already set up before this even happens is you see him sniffing around the funeral.
Yeah.
It's a funeral for a moth. Like, you don't know who's going to be showing up to these funerals, so he can easily kind of move in and out. And then he watches the aunt, get the phone call, which was probably a bad tradecraft thing by Mr. O'Sullivan to call the funeral. But he knew that she was going to be there. No one has cell phones, so you could kind of believe it too. Mm-hmm. Then he uses that to find out where they were called from, tracks them down. Like, because the thing I thought as they're like trying to get away from things is like, man, it would be so much easier to get away with stuff back then versus like, hey, there's a camera on every corner and like,
every piece of electronics are tracking.
Yeah, exactly. Like this, you bought like, hey, they can move around and kind of do whatever. The fact that he tracked them down in universe is like, okay, this guy
he's legit, which is why that diner scene is like also really tense, because it's like not only to just chase him down, it's like this guy's so good it could likely be over here.
Yeah, yeah. And so him getting away, slashing the tire, kind of is like, okay, perfect. They can get away. They can get some distance. You buy all this, and now Jude Law's stuck to try to figure out what to do next about this situation. So, and then it's like he's already developing a plot. He's already developing a plan to start getting to Connor, who killed him. So, who killed his family,
right?
Which is my next question of like, how did you experience like the main driver of this plot of this guy Connor being so, such an idiot. He's an idiot, really, and like Paul Newman has to deal with the fact that his son's an idiot and his best employee, Michael, is a casualty of his son's idiocy, but he chooses his son over.
It's the classic coach's son scenario where like coach kind of knows his kid is not very good, or maybe he doesn't, and he plays it. He's a starter in every game, and it's like why are we starting this kid? We got 3 other kids who can catch better than him. We got 2 other kids who can pitch better than him. He can't catch a single fly ball in the outfield. He doesn't know how to, take a routine grounder at shortstop. Why are we starting him? But it's the coach's son, and so therefore he's in. That's kind of the vibe I got for that character. The rest of like the driving force of Michael Sullivan getting back at him, that's maybe where the film needed a little bit more exposition, because I wasn't really sure. I thought hey, we're going to just do a string of robberies of like, we're just going to take as much of the mob's money as we can until we have leverage. Because right now we have no leverage. Yeah. It was like, okay, now they got the accountant. I thought he was just still trying to take more money. But then it was, okay, now he found something. I don't know. It seemed like a stretch. I didn't have anything that clued me into like there was an actual thing that he was going to be able to find because he suspected it. I think partly because it probably would have been out of place. It's not like he's going to discuss that with his son of like, hey, we need to get to the accountant so that we can find the books because I know he's, there's something else going on that's protecting him. Well, it's like, I just didn't know. And so it became just, these are just only face value, these robberies. And it was, there's some fun moments in them. They weren't bad, but it just wasn't like, I didn't connect it to what was this doing for Michael Sullivan's character, for his son. What were they actually trying to do in the meta sense? I knew they were trying to, steal the mob's money. Great.
Yeah. Well, and his plan, I could buy for the most part. The part that I was like at first questioning as I was watching it was like, all right, is this the type of person who would, all right, we just watched Man on Fire. Like clearly this ex-CIA guy is like, yeah, he's going to kill all of Mexico in order to get to this little, like find revenge on the people killing this, who he thought killed Dakota Fanning in the movie. This one, so his family dies. Do I buy that he's not going to be able to sleep until Connor's dead? At first I was like, I think they could have done a better job of setting up that this guy is someone who like always gets his revenge on people, because it's like after he got turned down by Stanley Tucci's character, it was, he could have just been like, all right, like we tried. They did try to kill him after that anyways, but, he could have given up, and it's like, all right, so do you buy that he's going to do that? He's got his kid. He could have just gone and hid, like I just said, like probably wouldn't have been that hard to go to Zihuatanejo, or so, California. They just go to California and like,
they could have hit 1 or 2 banks and then just left.
Or they could
have just left.
Or they could have had something in there where he already had a bag of money. He already had a go bag,
Sure.
that they grabbed and gone away. They could have gone away, but it was like he's on the road to hell. Like that was, I mean, that's a whole thing. Is
Yeah.
because of the dumb son, he set up this path that was going to lead between this crazy Jude Law character, and it's just, and I think there's one of the characters in there was talking, and I don't remember who, if it was Paul Newman or who it was, but basically like, or if it's Stanley Tucci, basically like, don't start down this road. Like there's only destruction at the end of this road. And he's just like, I'm a jump full steam in. And that's kind of the driving factor of like keeping in mind of like this character, Michael Sullivan, was hell bent on it. And that's where the Tom Hanks part, you're like, the only thing that almost took me out of it a little bit. And yeah. as far as the plan was to steal Capone's money until Capone took notice and he had leverage. I thought the thing that I liked about the books, him finding the books and finding out that Connor had been stealing, was that like it was a brutal scene there of him going to Paul Newman to be like, you stuck by your son. Look how you don't even know how big of a piece of crap he is. And he's like, I actually do, but that's my son. That scene in particular hit so hard because all I could think of is like, how do I go from, the son that you grew up to love? I mean, that Daniel Craig was presumably a 10-year-old boy, a 12-year-old boy at some point in his life. And that same father's love that he had, it's like, how do I, the kid I tucked in the bed every night, how do now I give him up to die over this? It'd be hard. And you can just see like Paul Newman is a great dad who loves his kid, but also, somewhere let him go off the rails. And now they're at this position. He's just like, I can't let my kid die. And then he's, it's a, unstoppable force meets an immovable object. And it's like, all right, now we're on the path to hell because of this situation.
You also get the double nature meeting of, his line in that scene where he says, I don't want to, or like, I don't want to lose my son. I think in some ways he's talking about both.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
both
point.
Of them.
That's a good point.
And I think, to your point earlier, Paul Newman like really sells that. It's like, look, I'm more conflicted than I wish none of this would have happened, truly, because I think he, it's clear that he was the one who kind of brought Michael Sullivan in when he was young, gave him a home, protected him, cared for his family, extended all of this to him, which is why, Sullivan's very loyal. So it really does show you that. And I think there's a lot of those like, father, son, family themes to this movie. And maybe it was, maybe it's some of it that just like had to get resolved by going to, grandpa in Chicago that sort of like lessened the impact of the overall messages in the film. But there are some small moments that are very heartfelt as, Michael Sullivan and Michael Sullivan Jr. are on the road. There's some really fun moments that like made me really excited for my son to grow up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe not so much the like, hey, here's a honeycomb pipe, on your 12th birthday or your 10th birthday, presumably. He's probably already been smoking packs by that point. But my favorite one and the second favorite one, the favorite one actually comes after the diner scene. And that is probably one of the most relatable parental scenes that I've seen in a long time, which is get down and kid says, why? And then he almost gets shot. And then he takes him out to the field and it says, when I tell you to get down, you don't ask why, you just get down. I feel like I've had that exact conversation with my kids over and over. Like,
literally today.
I want to encourage your curiosity. I love it. Sometimes I don't do that enough. Sometimes I just need you to sit down for your own safety We're not obviously taking on hails of bullets these days, which I'm internally grateful for.
Yeah.
But that moment was like, get down. Why? I was like, oh, yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you for that. I get it. That was probably my favorite one. My second favorite one, as they're on the road, you start seeing, dad's, cold exterior kind of start getting broken down as they're together more, as they're spending more time together. They're recovering in the farmhouse, and his son comes down, and like normally contrasted with the early part of the film, it's cold. It's, don't talk unless you're talked to. I don't want to see you doing any of this stuff. He says, hey, no, come sit down. Let's talk. And I liked it too, because it felt like he was forcing himself to say that.
Yeah.
But that's the sort of thing that, like, I think it does embody more of what fathers are, because it's again, okay, I know what my son needs right now is to interact with his dad. So I'm going to whatever I'm going through, I'm going to put that to the side right now. And it might sound a little forced, but what counts is what I do. Yeah. I love that scene. And then, like, his son hugs him at the end, which is, contrasted the very first scene you see between the two. They're separated
apart
by the entire hallway of the upstairs. Yeah. And they're basically whispering out of respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so that was really cool to see those. And it really does. I think, it brings that first opening scene of the kid doing the voiceover saying, hey, a lot of people think my dad's terrible. I don't think so, because I spent 6 months with him on the road.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the moment that he's talking about at the beginning, which is as an overall storytelling, like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That you call your shot at the beginning and you show it happening later on. Like, that's good stuff.
Yeah. And that beginning scene hits better because there's an ambiguity about what happens. You don't know what happens.
Yep.
It could be a happy story. He's just a kid sitting on the beach talking about how his dad isn't as bad as you think, and then it's about bringing the humanity in throughout the film. Yeah, the relationship between the father and this is a movie about fathers and sons.
Yep.
You have Paul Newman, who seems like a good father, but his son is just such a hot mess. And one of the best scenes and shots of the film is right after Paul Newman has embarrassed his kid in front of the partners, and just makes him look like an idiot for doing a dumb thing, which was shooting the other guy. As he's walking away, he clearly, Paul Newman turns to Tom Hanks's character and says, all right, let's, go talk this around. And Connor, Daniel Craig, is sitting there as Tom Hanks and Paul Newman walk arm in arm, behind him. And it's a shot over he's just sitting there looking shell-shocked, like feeling bad for himself, feeling all kinds of things. And his dad, who he clearly wants respect from, just clearly doesn't respect him at all. And you see that scene of Tom Hanks and him right behind him.
And that shot is perfect for it.
Oh, I mean,
because you like, that's one of those things where you could mute the scene, no captions at all, and it just how they shoot it tells the exact story, even with them just walking off. So they're walking off, and Daniel Craig's character's in the foreground, and the background is in focus.
Yeah.
And so he's in the foreground, and it's very fuzzy, and they're zooming in, or sorry, they're sort of like dolly almost. They're dollying forward. And so like the whole walk out is in focus with him in the foreground blurry. Like, you are here, but you are not the focus. You are out entirely. That was probably the second thing I wrote down of like, okay, there's some film shots going on that I want to think about. I want to go back and like how that just I've seen those shots in the past where it's like, character in the background is out of focus and then it goes into focus. This is probably one of the few scenes I've seen where it's the foreground is dramatically out of focus and then at the end, you just get the twinge of it in focus. So good.
And these are the type of things that you intuitively pick up on, and someone who's not thinking about movies necessarily like worth thinking about, the scene just hits for them. Like you intuitively know what's happening. You're like, oh, he likes that guy more than he likes this guy.
Yep.
That's got to sting a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't come up later on in the film. And
right.
The next scene is after that is us figuring out that he goes to kill. He, like, literally after that, isn't it right after that, he walks out, Daniel Craig's character walks out, hands a note to Tom Hanks' character and says, bring this to random guy.
Yep.
And that note says, kill him and all the debts are paid. And that starts the motion. So he goes, Daniel Craig character goes right from there to go kill the kid. Now, he's such an idiot, he doesn't understand that he knows there's two kids, he just doesn't know which is which. And just so happens that the oldest boy wasn't there.
Which, again, contrasts with his father, who loves those two kids.
Yeah, loves the two kids.
Plays with them, like at a funeral wake, and he's down in the basement playing dice with them. Like, that's the kind of grandpa you want.
Yeah. That's the grandpa you're going to be.
I mean,
that is going to be
hope so.
Your kids are going to be like, don't play dice with my kids. Don't bring out the craps table. Don't do it.
You got it. Won't happen.
Yeah, and you're just going to be like,
it's in the basement. Let's go. Let's go. and you're totally right. It's one of those things, like, you don't actually have to pay attention to the mechanics of these shots. It's just another layer of the filmmaker showing you what's happening and not telling you what's happening.
And my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes of all time, and I remember this as soon as it happened, the very last scene, when you're like, am I buying the fact that it's a happy ending right now? Am I buying it? Am I buying it? As soon as he walks into the beach house and there's nothing on the floor, it's opened up. You know what's happening. That scene is the same scene of the first time you see Jude Law.
Yeah.
Open scene, dead body in it. He comes
carpet,
to take
like just a plain beige carpet in the middle.
Tom
of the
Hanks
room.
has no reason to suspect this. Only the audience knows that's going to happen. The lighting in the room is so bright, so warm. It's still playing with your expectations. This is a nice scene. He walks in. Your eyes, and I love this so much. You can see the hallway that Tom Hanks just walked in. You can see it. So your eyes are stuck on when's Jude Law coming down that hallway. You're looking at the hallway, and then boom, boom, shots. He falls down, and Jude Law's character is sitting in a chair, obscured by Tom Hanks as he's walking forward. It's subversive in so many different ways. Your eyes are going here. Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Is this going to be happening? Boom, it's not.
It's so good too, because it's like you're like, okay, he's getting shot in the back here, and I'm kind of looking around the back room, and then it's like they hold and they hold and they hold. And I think, I know it's going to happen, and bang, bang. I actually still jumped.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't seen it. I still knew it was coming. And boom, it's like, oh no. Like, oh, he got me. And
and he stands up right where Tom Hanks was, where he fell down from, and then Jude stands up and starts coming in from the background. It's creepy, and then he just goes right to, let's start taking pictures. This is what we're doing, type of thing. That scene hit so hard for you as well, and like you didn't want it to happen, right? You knew that there was not going to be a happy ending. Like, they set it up, you know there wasn't going to be a happy ending to it, and it really but the story, like the filmmaking helps the storytelling so much, because you're like sitting there questioning yourself. It's not a foregone conclusion. So many movies are like, okay, well, we need the protagonist to win. And when you don't get that satisfying ending, it's great from a entertainment perspective, because you're on your toes the entire time. So, and some people want happy endings, and that's how they want to watch movies. I don't. It's way more exciting to not know what's coming necessarily.
To me, it's two things. One, to have the ending feel earned, which we've talked about a lot already.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you earn a moment, it's 100 times better than the exact same moment that's unearned. So earn it from both ways, right? So Jude Law's character earns that kill.
Yeah.
Like he survived, he got outfoxed. He's going to be quieter, more prepared, more ready, not give himself away this time. So he earns that. And then like the like, what is it? You got to earn the moment, and you have to not just give it away from the beginning, right?
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen at the beginning of that scene. You still
or even at the beginning of the movie, right? It is ambiguous. Like, well, okay, this is probably going to be unhappy. You know, wife and kid die. We're not happy, no matter what happens the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
this is a sad movie, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's those two things. Like, one, like, don't just telegraph everything that's going to happen. Like, keep me in suspense, but earn it. For me, I love, like, you know, sort of the tragedy, if it were. I also love the comedy with the happy ending. I think there's something to, probably the only thing that would take this movie to a transcendent category is if it was Michael Sullivan then choosing to sacrifice himself entirely for his son. But I don't know. Again, that would have been unearned.
Yeah.
If that's just what happened at the end.
See,
right?
I disagree that it would have been the best case scenario, because him saving, like, he had made known that he didn't want his kid to grow up like him.
Yeah.
And the kid is the only way for this kid that you think he's going to, like, he's at the choice. Either he dies or he makes this choice to kill somebody. And, you know, that was the only way that Michael taking the gun out at the end and, like, surprising you, that was the only way that it was going to work out well.
Yeah.
Because if the kid just walks in and he's like, oh, shoot, I stumbled upon something crazy, and then, you know, Michael Sullivan shoots him, it was like, why didn't you just do that to begin with? But it was kind of this, like, I don't know. I felt like the ending, it made the whole father-son aspect of it really hit well, of, like, he didn't sacrifice. I mean, he sacrificed his values, right? He, like,
well, what I'm saying is, in the context of the film, they did a really good job. I think what I'm trying to say actually is, had they constructed a different story to where the ending was him outright sacrificing himself for his son, that might have taken it into a higher echelon. I don't think if you just tack that sort of scene on the end, the movie is like, don't bother.
Yeah.
Like, don't even study it for anything. Like, so that's what I'm saying. I think I agree. The ending of the movie is the right ending for the story they were telling.
Yeah.
I think they did a fantastic job writing and constructing the story. I'm just saying, like, maybe a different story is something that I would consider a little more transcendent.
Sure.
That then is one of those movies that we think, oh man, I want to be like so-and-so.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be that character that, rises up at the end.
Yeah.
Whereas, it's kind of Michael Sullivan just left a trail of violence.
Yeah.
Which, that's the story they were telling.
Yeah.
The father had chosen this path of violence and had no way of he had no way of redemption.
He had no way of redemption, and the road was leading only one place.
Only one place.
It was one place. So
now, obviously, his son survives, and the ending is, a little bit happy. Kid goes off and lives at the farmhouse with the dog.
Yeah. He's taken care of. The money's there.
Yeah.
No one's going to trace him.
And, obviously that couple are going to cherish him because they
didn't have a kid.
Didn't have kids and were sad about that. And yeah. So anything else from this movie that sticks with you?
I thought great movie, great acting. 18-year-old Dave making some interesting choices. The random generator spitting these things out is giving us some interesting choices.
Yep.
There will come a time in this podcast where we're not going to be able to talk about this with Paul Newman and actors like that. There are going to be a lot of Jason Statham.
Okay, so
coming forward.
Before we end, a question I have for you.
Yep.
This is a 1920s, 1930s gangster film set in Middle America.
Yep.
What's your favorite movie about this era? The 20s, 30s gangster era.
I mean, Godfather. Godfather is in this era, gangster style. Oh.
Isn't that a little more like 70s, 60s, 70s era?
Is it? Oh, it's after the war.
Post-war.
It's not. Yeah, it's like 50s, 60s. Yeah.
So the
okay,
Prohibition era. I guess Prohibition era.
Untouchables. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So when as the movie's getting going, it's like, oh, we're Prohibition era. Like, oh man, this isn't Untouchables.
This is not Untouchables. It has a different vibe completely.
Different and man, that's a movie that for me, that's one of those movies that sticks with me.
Yeah.
And I do, that's kind of what got me thinking on the, did they have someone else in mind for this character and not Tom Hanks? And also I think Tom Hanks is on the wrong side of the law. If Tom Hanks is a lawman chasing these guys down and having to do foul deeds to bring them to justice, to me.
So then who's the guy?
I don't know. I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about it, but
I'll tell you who the guy is. Daniel Craig now.
Yeah.
Post Bond.
Remake, Road to Perdition, and it's Daniel Craig.
Yeah, and Timothy Chalamet's the son that sucks. He's a sniveling little guy who... I'm serious. I think Daniel Craig could play this. Just, you need that stoic face. There's a softness to Tom Cruise, but then you get the stoic person who does soften up later. Yeah.
Yep.
I'd say Daniel Craig.
Stoic and brooding and depth. Yeah.
So would you recommend this movie to people to watch?
If you're a dad or if you're a parent with some kids, yeah.
If you're a dad, you got to watch this movie. If you're thinking about being a dad, if you're going to be a dad, watch this movie because it's going to hit. You're going to see some harsh realities that come. Hopefully, you're never put in this type of situation.
Don't choose a life of crime.
But you're gonna see things happen in your life that mirror situations like this on a much lower scale. The stakes will not be as high as this movie, but you're gonna have to sometimes choose: do I stick up with my kid when I think my kid's wrong? Do I be hard to my kid all the time because I think that's what's going to be best for him? Is there value to softening up? Sometimes. So, if you're a dad, this is a great movie to watch.
Love it. I think the second thing, I just jogged my memory.
Yeah.
If you like making films, if you want to make films, go watch this movie because there's some stuff that you should beg, borrow, and steal. And really, focusing on the mechanics of what is this thing that I'm seeing on the screen that is serving the story?
Yeah.
Oh man!
Each shot having a purpose.
I literally in front of me, I have a page written down, and maybe I'll probably save this for the Substack post.
Yeah.
But I just all of these different shots that add to this. Hey, we're showing you what's going on, and it just adds to the fabric of the film. Love it.
Yeah. Gosh. Great movie.
Road to Perdition.
Podcast number 5 in the books. All right. Thanks everyone for showing up. I want you to like and subscribe. There's Jonathan's putting lots of work into the Substack. Great stuff to read. This is going to be something that goes down in history. So. And you don't need to download the app. Frankly, don't. Just. You read it online. Hit us up, the dvdbox.substack.com. Throw in your email, then close out of the app. You'll just get some emails occasionally. Also, follow us on Spotify.
You'll get new episodes every 2 weeks or so.
Comment on it. Tell us how much we're rambling and what we need to do better. We'll ignore you, but we'll read it.
We will read it.
We will read it.
We'll read them all. Thanks so much for listening. This has been What's in the DVD Box podcast. I'm Jonathan Lind.
I'm David Winkler.
Catch you next time.